Alrighty, gamers. Welcome in. Retro Time. I'm Nosaj Ttimmed. And, yeah. So, man. Oh, man. My head kind of hurts, but I feel like it might be because I'm dehydrated, or I might be just getting sick, which would suck, because I don't want to get sick. We're gonna do chapter 29 here in a second. So, alright. I want to say something before I get started here, and I'm gonna bring this up because this is something I want everybody to hear. So I don't know. I've been inspired to do this by another YouTuber. Um, it's so I've been inspired by Melanie Mack, and so it seems like has something going on with her. So we're gonna say a prayer for her after I'm done reading this Bible because it just seems like there's something off there, and she usually uploads quite frequently, and like as of recent, after the happenings of the events of the things that she had happened, it's just like she's been she hasn't been uploading as frequently, and I don't know if it's because she just feels like down in the dumps or stuff. But there's people saying different stuff about her, and I'm like, no, what you're saying isn't right. All right, so I'm having to stick up for her and tell these people to stop accusing her of stuff. I have a guy literally showing me pictures of stuff that don't even connect with what it is that what not even connecting to what it is that they're saying she's doing. So but hold on, let me do something here. Let me pull up my multiple chats here so that way I can but yeah, I don't know what's going on, but it just seems to be a thing where people get full force into this, and they don't continue on with it. They get us to a certain part. Like, I had this happen to me before where I got pulled away, but I drifted away due to the fact that like there were my friends, were hopping. My friend hopped off board, and it left me astray. And I'm by myself again on this, so I'm kind of just doing this by myself. But I'm seeing numbers, so that's the other reason why I'm continuing to do it. If it wasn't for if it wasn't for the outcome, all right. Actually, I shouldn't even be basing it around the outcome, but I want to do something great in life, and I feel like the channel is part of like God's mission for me. Is like that's what God wants me to do. So that's why I continue to do these things that I do now. We can sit there and say a prayer for her after I'm done with the Bible reading, but you know this is there's something going on her end, and somebody needs to check up on her, keep an eye on her, make sure she's okay. Um, I've always had this feeling that I was supposed to like when I first started talking to her, there was something about it that kept me going, kept me trying to like, keep wanting to keep an eye on her, and I don't know what it was. And 2 days ago, she uploaded, and she was wearing a shirt that had a really satanic message on it, and I told her about it, and I don't know how she felt about it, but she didn't upload anything yesterday. She just posted a few things. And what I think she needs to do is she needs to step away from her group of people she's with right now. Most of them actually, because they're persuading her to go down a bad path. And I'm saying that with all due respect to people who have YouTube and all that. Some of the people on YouTube, they'll lead like if you're trying to if you're trying to make a community, all right, sometimes people will come into your community that will try to lead you out of your community, your own community that you're building, and then make you try to think something like astrology is good and that's the way things are. But I just can't believe it now. Like I don't, I've seen so many things that's recently happened, even online, everywhere, and I can truly say that's the thing that keeps me going with this. The fact that I can see, I can usually, it's just hard to take in that normally I'm saying stuff and all that stuff I'm saying just normally like happens. That's what's incredibly strange about it. And that's probably the gift I was given, and that's probably why like I'm probably going to continue to stay on this path I'm on because it's just weird. Like there's going to be a lot of stuff going on in the next few months that brace yourself because things are going to get kind of wild, and there's gonna be a lot of like dark stuff going on. And I will say this: it's time to brace yourself for things because things are not with the elections coming up. We're gonna see some really dark stuff during the elections. I almost guarantee it because we're seeing dark stuff happen before the election, months before the election. So just brace yourself for the elections coming up. I don't want anybody idolizing some presidents or anything like that. We need to step away from that. We need to step away from that kind of stuff. So, all right. So, let me record this, and I'll actually talk a little bit about this before I start to on the recording. So I should have been recording it. All right, everybody. Welcome in to Nosaj Ttimmed. I'm Nosaj Ttimmed, and today we're gonna read chapter 29. But today, after this, we're gonna say a certain prayer to somebody. I'm gonna show you who they are and show you I think they may be going through something, and then I'm gonna come back and we're going to say a prayer for them, and we're going to say a prayer in general, and also we are going to we're going to talk a little bit about stuff going on. And so let's just get into 29, and after 29 is over, I'm going to try to remember to talk about stuff that's going on in the world that we need to brace ourselves, because in the next coming months things are going to get really, really bad. So but let's just get into chapter 29 here. All right. Was it Was it 29 or was it 30? Hold on. Let me check. This is the one thing about the Bible is it like you have so many chapters in it. So, all right. Okay, so I read 28. Ah, okay. So 29, yes. All right. So we'll get started on chapter 29. All right. Jacob arrives at Paddan Aram. Then Jacob continued on his journey and came to the land of the eastern peoples. There he saw a well in the open country with 3 flocks of sheep laying near it. Because flocks were watered from that well, the stone over the mouth of the well was large. When all the flocks were gathered, there the shepherd would roll the stone away from the well's mouth and water the sheep. And then they would return the stone to its place over the mouth of the well. Jacob asked the shepherd, "My brothers, where are you from?" "We're from Haran," they replied. He said to them, "Do you know Laban, uh, Nahor's grandson?" "Yes, we know him," they answered. Then Jacob asked them, "Is he well?" "Yes, he is," they said, "and here comes his daughter Rachel with the sheep." "Look," he said, "the sun is still high. It is not time for the flocks to be gathered. Water the sheep and take them back to the pasture." "We can't," they replied, "until all the flocks are gathered and the stone has been rolled away from the mouth of the well. Then we will water the sheep." While he was talking with Rachel, while he was talking with them, Rachel came with her father's sheep, for she was a shepherd. When Jacob saw Rachel, daughter of his uncle Laban, and Laban's sheep, he went over and rolled the stone away from the mouth of the well and watered his uncle's sheep. Then Jacob kissed Rachel and began to weep aloud. He had told Rachel that he was a relative of her father and a son of Rebekah. So he ran and told her father. As a son of Laban heard the news about Jacob, his sister's son, he hurried to meet him. He embraced him and kissed him and brought him to his home. And then Jacob told him all these things that Laban said to him. You are your own flesh and blood. So, Jacob found the wife he was looking for. 1 second. So Jacob, ran into the wife he was looking for. I guess this was through the prayers. Well, not really through the prayers, but like he found it through connections with family and relatives and all that. So there was still a connection. It was kind of a connection with God in a sense, but he found what he was looking for. And pretty much, if you remember, God yesterday told him that he needed to stay there and that there was that something was there for him. So if you remember that correctly, so oh, come on. Jacob marries Leah and Rachel. After Jacob had stayed with his with him for a whole month, Laban said to him, "Just because you are relatives of mine, should you work for me for nothing? Tell me what your wages should be." Now Laban had two daughters. The names of the older was Leah, and the name of the younger was Rachel. Leah had weak eyes, and Rachel had a lovely figure and a beautiful and was beautiful. Jacob was in love with Rachel and said, "I'll work for 7 years in return for your young daughter Rachel." Laban said, "It's better that I gave her to you than with some other man. Stay here with me." So Jacob served 7 years to get Rachel, but they seemed like only a few days because of his love for her. Jacob said to Laban, "Give me my wife. My time is completed and I want to make love to her." So Laban brought together all the people of the place and gave a feast, but when the evening came, he took his daughter Leah and brought her to Jacob, and Jacob made love to her, and Laban gave his servant Zilpah to his daughter as her attendant. When morning came, there was Leah. So Jacob had said to Laban, "What is this you have done to me? I have searched for Rachel. I didn't. Why didn't I have searched for Rachel, didn't I? Why have I? Why have you deceived me?" Yes, dude, it's because he stole a blessing. If you remember earlier on, he stole a blessing. So what he's doing is, without knowing it, there was something else going on, and it messed up that blessing that was for his brother earlier on. So now things are getting messed up for Jacob, whether he realizes it or not. So we keep going on, and you're gonna learn that he got cursed because of this as well. So Laban replied, "It's not our custom here to give the young daughters in marriage before the older one. Finish this daughter's bridal week, then we will give you the young one also in return for another 7 years of work." And Jacob did so. He finished the week with Leah and then Laban gave him his daughter Rachel to be his wife. Laban gave his servant Bilhah to his daughter Rachel as her attendant. Jacob made love to Rachel, and also his love for Rachel was greater than his love for Leah. He worked for Laban another 7 years. All right. So he got Rachel in the end, but first he had to go through something, and again, this was because if they didn't give him Rachel, I don't know what would have happened, but I think there would it would the story would have just got like took a weird turn, and I think there would have been more stuff, more bad stuff going on. But it's kind of it kind of recorrected itself, fortunately. So we see that the blessing was a curse, and then after the curse, it turned it back into the regular blessing. So you can see how that would work. How like, all right, an example of this is when you get something breaks. So in reverse of what just broke in that blessing you receive, you'll receive the better version of something else. Like, or you'll receive something greater than this. Like, I'm trying to think of an example. So I'm trying to think of a way to say this because I have this happen to me quite a bit. Where, all right, so example, okay. So this, I'm gonna give you an example. This is a video game I have, okay. So I went out to get this, okay, a few months ago, okay, and I got it, but this wasn't the version of it I wanted. This is a used copy of it, but I still got the same thing. All right, so in replace of that, I found a box and a cover that works with the game, and now I'm just perfectly fine with it. And that's what this is about. You go for your blessing, and sometimes you won't get that blessing, but you'll get eventually you'll get a good version of that. So I look at it this way. I have a cool cover. Well, I have the same cover, but like I don't have the full box art, and I have a box and everything else inside that I put in there, and that's where that blessing comes in. Like you're gonna see that in your life, where you're not gonna always get the exact thing you want, but you're gonna get something on the equivalent of it. And what you're seeing here is that he asked for one wife. Okay, he asked for one wife. He ended up getting more than one wife, and that's because he did his 7 years, and they needed the older one to marry before the young one. So there was the benefits of what there was the benefits of the blessing to begin. So, all right. Jacob's children. When the Lord saw that Leah was not loved, he enabled her to conceive, but Rachel remained childless. Leah became pregnant and gave birth to a son. She named him Reuben, and Reuben, for she said, "It is because the Lord has seen my misery. Surely my husband will love me now." She conceived again, and when she gave birth to a son, she said, "Because the Lord heard that I am not loved, he gave me this one." 2. She named him Simon, again conceived, and then she gave birth to a son. She said, "Now that my last husband will become attached to me, now that my last husband will become attached to me, because I have borne him 3 sons." So he was named Levi. So, all right, we're gonna go. Chapter 30 starts a little bit further down. So, we're gonna read 2 chapter 30 today. So, all right. We're not gonna read chapter 30 though. We're gonna finish out 29. She conceived again, and when she gave birth to a son, she said, "This time I will praise the Lord." So she named him Judah. Then she stopped having children. So she was blessed with 3 children because she wasn't respected. She wasn't loved by him. And again, that again is an example of how the Lord works. They see that he sees you're going through stuff. He's gonna give you great stuff. Like I'm an example of that. Okay, I'm an example of I go through so much stuff. I've had some pretty wild stuff happen to me in my life. All right, and the Lord always sees what I'm going through, and you can if you just praise the Lord, you're gonna start getting things that you never thought you would receive before. Um, and I know when my time comes that God may send me more than, and this is just me figuratively speaking, but once I, once, I could be an example of where I end up having more than, one wife at some point or something like that. Just an example. Like how Jacob got a wife, but it wasn't a wife he wanted. So he worked again and then he got even more than what he wanted. So it's it's just awesome to see how it works. So this is something that really, really you should think about in your life instead of disrespecting people. When something isn't going your way, or you feel like you got the short end of the stick, you have to remember that short end of the stick, you just wait. You'll get your blessing. You'll get more than a blessing. You'll get a huge blessing that you've always wanted. And that's the end game of waiting. That's why we have patience. That's why you don't react when something doesn't go your way. There's a lot of people out there being like, oh, things aren't going my way. This is unfair. Why does he always get what he wants? Well, if you feel like you got the short end of the stick and he didn't, chances are he did something that you didn't do, and he's not actually blessed. He's taking blessings from people. So you have to remember, a blessing is all about praying to God, waiting for deliverance, and thanking God. Instead of you going out and doing stuff to people, take the time out of your day and be like, I guess I'm gonna have to wait. I guess I'm gonna have to wait. Even if my bad mood is a bad mood right now. That'll change it. And that's the way I look at it. Your bad mood will subside. But as soon as you have that bad mood, you might want to consider thinking about praying. Thinking about thanking God for what you have. Because when you start thanking God, God likes that. God's like, okay, my son, I will give you more than you want right now. But you have to be patient. There's a story coming up later on in the Bible where a guy, he gets so many blessings, but being impatient leads to his ruining of him not getting what he wants. So, like example, I don't know what I'm trying to remember what story it is, but he doesn't. He was supposed to get married and have a wife. He was supposed to be blessed with the wife, but the wife turned and went a different way because he kept messing up every single blessing in his life. And that is why I say you wait and you'll have great things. Like Christmas was an example of like, man, I don't feel like anything good is going to happen to me. And in all Christmas, I got a couple gifts and people showed they actually, people showed their kindness during Christmas, which was incredible. I never had that happen to me before. And you know what it was? They started reading this and I started praying. And then God said, here's some blessings. I will give you a lot of great stuff along the way of your journey. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's the moral of the story. Don't go around. If you see somebody getting blessings or you see somebody getting things you want, but you feel like it's unfair, hey, that's how life goes. Sometimes you get treated unfairly. It all depends how you handle yourself, and do you have patience to withstand those things that get taken from you? And trust me, I'm going to get so many blessings here soon because I have been patient. I haven't gone out and done anything wrong. And, and that's just how it goes. So, but anyway, let's take a look at something. So we're going to go over to, we're going to go to somebody's profile real quick. And we're gonna say a prayer for them because that's what they need. So, hold on one second. All right, so we're gonna go over to Melanie Mac's Facebook profile. I got so many, I'm following so many people that I shouldn't be following. I hate to come on here one day and have just all right, so if we go here, all right, so this is the one I want to pray for. So all right, so here we're gonna pray for Melanie Mack right now. She's one of the YouTubers I really followed, and she inspired me to read the Bible. So I just want to say a prayer for her, and then we'll say a general prayer for everybody, and then I'll do my outro. All right, Lord Jesus Christ, I pray whatever is going on with Melanie Mack, you put light into her life, and I pray you put vision in her to help her see clarity of the direction she needs to go, to stay connected with you, or in just general to see signs of things that are dark, so that way she can work with you in your light and help your light coming back into the world. Lord, she gets straight off her path quite a bit, and I just hope you can bring her back. Um, do anything you can to bring the woman back to the light and return her to you and return her to delivering your word on the internet because she had a big impact on me, and I'd like to see her come back. So, Lord, just bring her back to us. In Jesus' name, amen. So there's that prayer. So we're gonna say a prayer for the general public, and anybody who is dealing with stuff, and we'll do an outro then. So, Lord Jesus Christ, I pray that today, for the people that are learning your patience and learning to be patient with by you, that they get blessed today. Lord, I pray you put light into the people's lives that need light today. I pray that the people that have a dark heart or a hardened heart, I pray you soften it up, and I pray you put your light in there and change people today, Lord. I pray you bring a lot of light into this world and change people and genuinely everything. In Jesus' name, amen. So, all right, now I'm gonna do my outro here, and then that's it. So, all right, if you like this prayer reading here, I mean, not prayer reading, but Bible reading today, come back tomorrow to the stream, or watch it on my Nosaj Ttimmed main channel. That's where the Bible reading will be. And also, if you did like it, hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel. I got that channel's booming right now. And also, yeah, hit the notification bell to get more from me. And that's it. Have a blessed day and take it easy. And yep, I'll be seeing you next time. Excuse me. All right, so now we can do our gaming section. All right, so we're gonna go to this. All right, so this one I do want to talk about because this is like incredible. This is like something that like I can't even say I've ever seen anybody do. Me myself have struggled to actually win in Tetris 99, so for this to actually happen, this is incredible, okay? So we're gonna read this one. If it doesn't help, okay. American teenager becomes first human to beat video game Tetris. So Tetris has been around for like ever, and if you know anything about Tetris, you know how hard it can get. It's very uncontrollable at certain points, and when the blocks drop, you have to be prepared to like put them in their spot. And if you have that mental capacity to do that, and you have the perfect timing, you'll be great. But as for me, I still struggle to win at Tetris 99. I'm a very good Tetris player, but I struggle at Tetris 99. I don't know how I feel about this kid, but he could become world champ right now with this here. And I'm making a list of great things that happened this year, and this was the first one that made the list. So this was a shocking event for 2024. And I'm going to keep doing video game related stuff on that and some other stuff. So you're going to see the list later on, towards the end of the year, before 2024 is over. I'm holding on to stuff right now. So I have a couple of things I've recorded so far, and one is bad gaming takes, and the other one is the just events that happened within our video game community, and just record all of them as I go because that's part of like what I want to do. All right. A 13-year-old American boy has become the first person ever to beat the popular video game Tetris. It's weird that this kind of stuff was occurring. Not weird, but it's pretty awesome. And I believe this has something to do with me bringing me combining the Bible reading and the video game community together. There's stuff going on in the video game community that just shows that there are great things going on for us. And, maybe God has blessed the video game community. And the fact that this has happened, this is a turn of events, ladies and gentlemen. This is like, this really is one of the most incredible things ever. If nobody has ever beaten Tetris before, this is an event that's going to break history, and who knows what this is going to lead to. But this is going to be an incredible turn of events. I feel very, very good about this event, and I feel like there's good things in store for us in the video game community. So, all right. All right. The popular video game Tetris. All right. The young gamer, Willis Gibson, completed 157 levels of Tetris before the game technically surrendered. So what happened is he kept playing, and then once the scoreboard reached its limits, because you can see that he's at, like, the score is like this score right here. So it doesn't go past this, which means that's how you beat Tetris. You have to make sure the score is completely almost to, I want to say that's 100,000. So in the millions, I think is what would be next. So you want to make sure you reach 1 million, and then that's when the game ends. So unless they do something about this next, which if they do anything next, I could see them taking the original game and original format and changing it to something much different. Now that somebody has beaten it. I love Tetris. I play Tetris 99 quite a bit. And it's a really, really fun game if you know what you're doing. And people that play it by themselves have a way of handling things that just, it's critical thinking. So when you're playing Tetris, you're doing a form of critical thinking that most human beings won't do. And it teaches you to be quick about your critical thinking. And that's what I feel taught me about playing Tetris. And the Tetris community is a group of its own. It is like really, really unique compared to other. It's a bunch of guys that don't even, so it's a bunch of guys, like a group of people that literally sit around and just, enjoy this game for what it is. And we don't even dress in cosplay. We don't talk about anime. We talk about, I've played a good portion of Tetris. My whole, like, in fact, let me pull it up here. Let me see what I'm at for Tetris 99. All right. My profile. So, I've played over 380 hours of Tetris 99. And that doesn't include offline. No, I don't know if it keeps track of offline. But it doesn't include what I put in there now. So for all I know, I could have played 400 hours into that. And by the time the Switch lifespan's done and everything, I can transfer everything over, which is more than likely going to happen. Tetris 99 is going to be the first game I decide I'm going to transfer over because it's the most important game to me. Everything else is a game I can go back a second time and play it. So, all right. Gamers call this kind of ending a kill screen. The Tetris program had no more plays to make, and it's screeched, freezing the video game. Gibson lives in the Midwestern state of Oklahoma and goes by the gaming name Blue Scotty. Scotty. Blue Scotty. He can be heard repeatedly shouting, "Oh my God," on a video recording as he beat the game. I can't feel my fingers, Gibson says in the video. Yeah, No, that right there. How old is Tetris? All right, let's see. 1984. All right, a few years before I was born. All right, so we're gonna do this. Let's do some mathematics here. All right, so it came out of dream. So I'm gonna go back to marking it as 2023. Okay. So 2023 minus 1984. Oops. 1984. So 40 years in almost 40 years in the making, and then somebody finally beat this game. That's incredible. The gaming experts had long considered Tetris unbeatable. This is partly because the game does not have a clear ending point. Tetris came out in 1984 and quickly became a worldwide favorite. Its creator, Alexei Pachinov, was a computer programmer engineer at the Russian Academy of Science in its former Soviet Union. During the game, players move and join together 7 different shapes of falling blocks. The goal is for the player to fit the blocks together for the solid line inside a box. That's a very bad description, but it's pretty simplified when you can explain it while you're playing the game. The blocks fall faster as the players progress through higher levels of the game. On December 21st, Gibson reached level 157 and dropped the final piece into place. This caused a single line of blocks to disappear and the game entered a permanent freeze. This is unbelievable. Vince Clement, CEO of Classic Tetris World Champion, told Reuters news agency. So yeah, the original Tetris champion, he didn't even beat this game. So this kid is gonna go into like the Hall of Fame of gaming. I can guarantee it. Like he's gonna be known forever in the video game community as like the Tetris king. I say it about myself. But the fact that this kid sat here for 30 minutes and actually sat down and beat Tetris that's an incredible feat. That's an incredible feat right there. I don't care what anybody says. And it's the fact that this kid made noise the way he did across the internet proves that God is in our video game community, ladies and gentlemen. God's teaching us something. And he put light into the video game community and it helped this kid do something incredible. So this just goes to show you, no matter how much you talk about somebody in the video game community, somebody's going to do something great. And it's going to be a well lesson, it's going to be, this is a kid that I will say that he made a name for himself in the most wildest way. And everybody in the video game community was talking about this. This is the first event of 2024 that the video game community has seen that just made everything incredible. All right? So do not bash on this kid. This kid did something that most people can't do. Anybody in mankind has yet to beat this. I have yet to beat this. So if you're going to sit there and bash this kid for doing something on his free time and doing something incredible, you have a lot to think about your own life. And that is get a hobby and stop bashing on people because he did something that was impressive to the gaming community and you didn't do something impressive. You need to think about that. That's why I don't get mad about this kid. That's why this kid, to me, this kid's incredible. Now, I'm not gonna go and like idolize him, but I'm saying he's an incredible. It's incredible to see that somebody finally beat this almost 40 years later. So that's something else. Okay. All right. So on December 21st, Gibson reached 157 and dropped the final piece into place. This caused a single line of blocks to disappear and the game to enter a permanent freeze. This is unbelievable. Okay, so that's the champion right there. Developers didn't think anyone would ever make it that far, and now the game has officially been beaten by a human being. Yeah, this game gets intense, and it's one of those games that if you're not concentrating enough and you're letting your thoughts overwork when you're in the middle of playing it, that's why I lose at Tetris 99. It or like just you know you end up you can't. It just goes to show you we can beat the computer. We can do anything if we really try. And maybe his goal was to beat this game. Maybe that was the goal. For some time, gamers have known Tetris would eventually reach an endpoint and technically shut down. But in the past, only a computer programmer could force such a game's ending to shut down. Other fans of the game were quick to share Gibson's excitement. Classic world champion Justin Yu, who goes by the name of Fractal161, declares in his own video, he did it. He did it. Tetris chief executive, Maya Rogers, joined in the celebration. She said in a statement it was fitting. Gibson had beat the game just ahead of 2024 when Tetris was entering a 40th anniversary. So yeah, he must have really worked on trying to beat this. Somebody must have persuaded him to actually sit down and beat this. And this takes skill. This takes some real skill. Congratulations to Blue Scuddy, Roger said. She added that extraordinary event defied any previous known limits of the game. Gibson uses a rolling controller method popularized in 2021. It permits players to operate the controller in different ways to be able to keep playing longer to reach higher levels. Brian, and then that's the end of that article. So yes, always remember that if you think something is stupid, look at what this kid did. All right, look at exactly what this kid did. This is a moment that I can say that God blessed this kid with the capability to win this game, and it made him world popular. It made him famous because he did something incredible. And this is a incredible feat for 40 years. And nobody was ever able to beat it. So that's the stuff you got to think about. It just goes to show you that nothing is impossible. And you know what else is not impossible? God is not impossible. Lord Christ is not impossible. And he beat this on December 21st. Again, I started reading the Bible a couple of days. So I did something that really good for the world. And I feel like the Bible was the start of me doing something great for the world. So, all right. Anyway, and then we got the lady here who insulted him, which is, I'm not even gonna read that. She can go. She can. Let's have her sit down and see how many rounds of Tetris she can go through. I bet she can't even go through 3, because she won't even understand. But I'm sure he goes outside. I'm sure he does other stuff. I mean, I'm sure he's not stuck to the machine all day. It's one of those things that, like, say what you want, but he did something far more greater than anybody else has done in history in like 40 years. So, I want to see a video of the actual Tetris champion, who was one of the greatest players of all time. I want to see an actual video of his reaction to what happened when he saw it. That's what I want to see, because I'm curious now. I've beaten in Tetris 99. I've beaten 5 people at once. I've done some great things at Tetris, but Tetris alone is one of the most challenging games. What is going on here? All right. I'm not reading that today. I'm not gonna read this Epic Game Store stuff, and I'm gonna explain why. I was trying to download Guardians of the Galaxy yesterday, and every time I tried to install it, it would freeze my computer up, and then there would be updates, like for security and all that, and then it would just slow down the computer, and I couldn't do anything, absolutely anything on the computer, so I had to restart the computer. And so I just basically I stopped trying to download it. I'm probably gonna uninstall Epic Game Store because unfortunately, for some reason, it was doing it to my computer. I don't know if anybody else has that issue, but my Pokemon Scarlet. Okay, so I don't know what this is. I don't know what the finals is. Genshin Impact. All right, games. All right. MSI may be teasing a Steam Deck competitor for CES 2024. All right. MSI has teased an exciting reveal for CES 2024, and it may be a handheld gaming device to compete with Valve's highly successful Steam Deck. CES, the Consumer Electronics Show, is an annual event that gives technology companies from around the globe a chance to showcase newer, released, or upcoming products. Last year, for example, Asus showed off its new Vibe cloud gaming laptop, and HyperX revealed a new Xbox controller for CES 2023, along with a line of gaming mice. This year, the show will be taking place in Las Vegas from January 9 to 12. From its launch in early 2022, the Steam Deck handheld gaming PC was an instant success. Rather than competing with Nintendo Switch, as many people assumed Valve's device created an entire new niche that it turns out millions of gamers were waiting to be filled in November 2023. The company shared that multi-millions of the Steam Deck had been sold, and its incredibly positive reception unsurprisingly caught the attention of other tech companies, which promptly released similar devices. The Logitech G Cloud launched in October 2022, the Asus ROG Ally in June 2023, and the Lenovo Region Go in October 2023. Now it seems that MSI is prepping to get in on the game with a Steam Deck competitor. The company took to social media to share a short teaser video of what clearly looks like a handheld gaming device with two analog sticks visible. The clip is accompanied by the words "Get a grip" and "Stay tuned." And the video closes with hashtag MSI X CES 2024. Notably, Intel Gaming responded to the post on Twitter with 3 thinking emojis, and some viewers are taking this to mean that the teased MSI device may feature Intel graphics or processors. When is CES 2024? So far, so that's when it is. So far, despite the competitors that have appeared on the market, Valve's Steam Deck seems to be maintaining the lead, with Asus device following closely behind. Xbox head Phil Spencer has mentioned both handheld PCs, or more than one, in an interview shared how he brings them on business trips. In addition to to convince or profitably, the success of the devices seems to stem from the fact that they appeal to gamers of all communities rather than forming a separate ecosystem. users of ASUS handheld can immerse themselves in both PC and console gaming, thanks to the ROG Ally Steam and Xbox Game Pass app. Even the Steam Deck can play Xbox and PlayStation games via the cloud with some workaround. Hopefully, the device that MSI unveils during CES 2024 will have taken a few pages from ASUS book and come with the ability to play games from multiple ecosystems out of the box. So, all right. So that's pretty cool. I'm not surprised. A lot of a lot of like computer and gaming companies are all of a sudden coming out with like the handheld device of a gaming platform, like PlayStation, and Xbox. I could see them doing that with their next console, just fully ditching full consoles that sit on your desk at home and create a handheld device that is good enough to go with you, because we already technically have the Nintendo Switch. The Nintendo Switch was that device that came out that led to other devices becoming that device that you can carry with you, take along, and just play on the go. That's why everybody made a big deal about the Nintendo Switch, because it was the first prototype of its kind that did that, and that's where I can truly say Nintendo is probably one of the most innovative companies that is known right now in the video game community, and you cannot actually say they're not. All right. Now, people do complain about the power of the Switch. Okay, I was talking about that last night, where the Switch is great, but for some reason I tried to play my Xbox 360, and I don't know what's going on with it. I'll probably blow air into it and see if I can fix the problem. But the Xbox 360 had graphics that aged very, very well. And when you look at the graphics for the Xbox 360 compared to the Nintendo Switch, or like graphics on your PC, it really made me like say, why is Nintendo not doing graphics that are a lot more higher than where they're at? They're always doing these like really, really cartoonish graphics, okay? But why are they not taking like Super Mario and making him look more realistic, Or why are they not taking the latest Legend of Zelda games and making them stop pixelating them, or stop, how do I want to say it? Yeah. There's a look to Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom that is very, very, it's still on the level of cartoony. All right, it's on that level of like Skyward Sword and stuff like that. And it makes me question, why did Nintendo not work harder on their like graphical standpoint? Because, I know Nintendo is trying to advertise to a lot of different people, including adults who've always been here for it. But they're also trying to advertise to a newer, younger generation, and that's mainly what they've been trying to pull in. And they do have it. But when you sit there and you look at it, why are they not doing more with their graphic system? The fact that you have such a great console, okay, and that stuff could not run on the Nintendo Wii or the Nintendo Wii U, all right? What is going on here, okay? Look at the Xbox 360. In fact, this game right here. All right, you turn their box around, and this is just, okay, so let me zoom in and show you guys what I'm saying. All right, the graphics on the Xbox 360, for some reason, like, these graphics look superior to what we get on a Nintendo Switch. That's weird, And the only one I can say that has really, really good graphics on a Nintendo Switch was Warframe. And I don't play that anymore, but that's the most realistic looking game on a Nintendo Switch. They can't even do that properly with Mortal Kombat, which is extremely weird. So why are we getting games with like low profile graphics? But yeah, everybody's sitting down worrying about the frame rate, okay? A 30 frame per second game is perfectly fine in my book. Give me those graphics, man. Give me those high profile graphics that I want to see, I want to see I want to see the next Legend of Zelda be like a realistic looking Legend of Zelda. Just just do what you have to make it look more realistic. I love Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild, but the complaint for me is the graphical area. Okay, the graphical area is not very. Nintendo doesn't focus on the graphical area, and you can tell they focus more on the gameplay and the story. All right, um, which you look at Twilight Princess. Twilight Princess looked more realistic than most of the other Zelda games out there. Unfortunately, that's just a given, and you can see that. All right, but why are we not going? Why is Nintendo not going in that direction where they push the graphics and then not worry about so much about people complain about the frame rate, yes, but I feel like there's something there that Nintendo could pick up on and push the graphics to a higher level that they're not doing right now. They could have done that with the Switch for like the 7 years it's been out now. You know, I'm trying to think of one game that they really would have pushed the graphics with, and I can't think of anything as of recent that they would have done that with, because when you look at it, we have a lot of the graphics on the Nintendo Switch, when you sit there and you look at it, are very, very cartoonish graphics. All right, they keep dropping us 2D styled games. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. But when are you gonna start dropping games on us with like the graphics up to the level of Tomb Raider? Because I was sitting here running the beginning of the game for Tomb Raider reboot, and then my one follower Mendez, he came in and he even agreed with me. I was like, man, these graphics look really good for a 360 game. He's like, yes, I know. Like, they age very well. And I said to him, I was like, why is Nintendo not doing this with their graphics? When you sit down and you put like the Tomb Raider game or like Halo or something like that next to Tears of the Kingdom. Okay, I'm not. This is just a minor comparison based on graphics. Okay, you're gonna look at it and say, why the heck is Nintendo not doing that? And when it comes down to it, I question that too. Why are they sticking with cartoony graphics? What are they? They're focusing more on, you know, like I'm just. This is just something I thought about, but I like good gameplay, and I like good story. Those are two things, and then the graphics, the music are normally last for me. But I want to see Nintendo push their graphics on their next system. I want to see some beautiful graphics. The only one we've really seen that in is, hold on. Let me see if I can find it. Let me see. And this will be what I talk about before I go. I didn't, so we read some news. All right. Mhm. All right. So we come over here.
How's it going, guys? Brett
All
Medlock
right.
here.
Well, all right. So I'm gonna pause this. This is the only game on Nintendo Switch that you can really see the graphics in. Okay. Let me try to pull an actual image up here. So you know, all right. So let me pull down the screen. The only one I really see graphics that are remotely real in it may be Xenoblade Chronicle, besides Monster Hunter. And Monster Hunter is like a Capcom game, so hold on. But here's an image of Monster Hunter, okay? This is a game that goes onto the Nintendo Switch. Look at the graphics, okay? Then turn around and look at Tears of the Kingdom graphics. We don't have the same we don't have the same thing, which is kind of weird in my opinion. But I think Nintendo could take the next Zelda game and increase those graphics. Push the graphics, man, because that's what people want to see. Because hold on, let me see. There was an advertisement before, so all right. So I'm trying to find it. There was an advertisement before any Zelda game even got dropped. It was right before Tears of the Kingdom. That was an advertisement that showed us what they think that the next Zelda game would look like. All right. So I can't find it here. But as you can see, you know, when I'm looking at it, I don't. It's not that I hate Zelda. I just think they could have like upgraded our graphics a little bit more with this, and you know. But man, where is it? Because it was like him fighting a giant spider, and he walked into a temple, and he was about to fight a giant spider, and it was like always the opening cutscene of the next. It was supposed to, all right, so here's the image I'm talking about. So this is what I wanted. This is actually what I was looking forward to Nintendo dropping on us, because this is more realistic. But we got Breath of the Wild instead in its graphics system, which is, when you look at it, you can definitely see the difference. Okay, this next Zelda game, I want to see them go with this direction. I don't want to see this anymore, because this was fine. But I really feel like they could have pushed our graphics to a whole new level and gave us this Zelda game right here. Which, this Zelda game right here, I was like, oh man, that looks beautiful. And then we didn't even get it. But this is on a level of Xenoblade Chronicles right here. This is why I'm saying that like could have done more. And when you look at Xenoblade Chronicles, the graphical system in Xenoblade Chronicles is really, really amazing. So, but that's it. That's where I'm done for the day. I'll be back tomorrow with. Let me see what the day is. So the 5th. All right, so it's Friday. So I won't be back tomorrow. I'll be back Monday, but I will still be uploading Bible stuff to the Bible channel, and just look for my next stream here. Sunday morning I'll be putting a stream up on the Bible channel. So look forward to that. Hopefully nobody comes in and just tells me how to run that, because that's what I had that one time, and it's what, like, I didn't say it, but I had somebody actually telling me how to run my own show. So but that's it, guys. Take it easy, and I'll be seeing you next time. And God bless you, and keep gaming.